Hey folks, welcome back to one of the most enthralling Science Scamper series for classes 6 to 8 by Educatup, and I am your super science teacher Ambika. At Educatup, we always ensure to empower all our students as how to think and not what to think. So if you want to experience the same, ensure to subscribe the Educatup's YouTube channel. The subscription button is given below. If you like our video, don't forget to press the like button and ensure to hit the bell icon so that you can get all the latest updates from Educatup. Now, let's start today's session, and the topic for the day is getting to know plants. Now, something very interesting, because we are always surrounded by the greenery and we wish in these days that we should have more and more plants and trees. You must be celebrating a kind of a festival at your school, Van Mahotsav, in which you put up different plants. So in this chapter, we are going to know about these plants, their basic structure, how they are helpful to us, and what exactly they are doing. So children, let's move ahead. So we are going to cover following topics in this module: plants around us, structure of a plant body, herbs, shrubs and trees, then your climbers and creepers, then stem, leaf, root, and finally flower. So without any delay, let's see. Plants around us. Now, everywhere we always want to have a greenery, to have a pleasing environment, and for that we always need plants, because plants are those organisms which help us to maintain the oxygen balance in our atmosphere. If plants will not be there, there will be a high rate of carbon dioxide and we will not feel a fresh, even we will feel a lot of hotness and warmth these days, with what we are actually feeling because of the cutting of a lot of trees. So plants is something that we should be always surrounded with. Now let's see ahead. Alright, now we are going to see the structure of a plant body, and you can see the structure behind me very clearly. A plant body is divided into two parts, that is the shoot system and the root system. You can see this side. Yes, the shoot system and the root system. Now, the shoot system is that part of the plant which is visible above the soil. यानी कि किसी भी पौधे का वो हिस्सा जो आपको सॉइल के ऊपर दिखाई देता है, which is visible to you, that completely is known as shoot system, and the one which is inside the soil is known as root system. यानी कि जो हमें दिखाई नहीं देता वो root system है. Now in shoot system you have different parts like flower, leaf, stem and fruit. These four constitutes the shoot system, because again जो दिखाई दे रहा है प्लांट का वही पार्ट तो शूट सिस्टम है, तो हमें लीव्स भी दिखाई देती हैं, हमें फ्लावर्स भी दिखाई देते हैं, हमें फ्रूट्स भी दिखाई देते हैं, एंड हमें स्टेम भी दिखाई देती है. एंड इन द रूट सिस्टम यू हैव द रूट्स. ऑलराइट, नाउ लेट्स मूव अहेड. नाउ द फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ प्लांट्स विच वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस इज हर्ब्स. Usually short, less than 1 meter in height. That means very, very short. Green and tender stem. When I say tender, that means very soft, very fragile. आसानी से आप ब्रेक कर सकते हैं या प्लक कर सकते हैं. Stem branches are few, यानी कि उनकी branches आपको बहुत कम दिखाई देंगी. There will be a single stem maybe. Live for 1 or 2 seasons. Now when I say 1 or 2 seasons, what do we understand by that? 1 or 2 seasons means basically 2 to 3 months. That constitutes your one season. One season means 2 to 3 months. 60 to 90 days you can say. That is your one season. So these herbs usually stay alive for 1 season or maybe maximum 2 seasons. That means for 4 to 5 months max. Alright. Now let's move ahead to see the next kind of plants. So the next is shrubs. Medium size, that means 1 meter to 3 meter of height, this much. Alright. Hard stem, which is not very thick, but the stem is strong. It's not fragile. Extensively branched out near the base. That means from where the shoot system is starting, from there you have branches. A lot of branches, not from the upper part. ऊपर की तरफ आपको branches कम मिलेंगी. जहाँ से plant start हो रहा है, वहाँ से आपको branches उसकी देखने के लिए ज़्यादा मिलेंगी. Then live for 4 to 5 years. They can survive for 4 to 5 years आराम से. अगर उन्हें पानी दिया जाता है, they are getting all the necessary conditions, they will survive. And the best example is lemon tree, lemon plant, then your China rose and your rose plant. Rose plant is something which is easily available even in kitchen gardens and home gardens, people used to put it up. So rose plant देख के और lemon plant देख के आप easily समझ सकते हैं that what a shrub looks like. Children, if you are liking our video, don't forget to press the like button, and any doubts, any queries, questions and feedback, please put it up in the comment box so that your super science teacher Ambika can definitely revert you back. Now let's pay attention. Trees. Now trees is something taller, very tall, more than 3 meters of height for sure, not less than that. A thick brown stem which is called trunk. आपने देखा है कि जो tree का stem होता है वो बहुत thick होता है and it is of brown color. You can even not do like this. Your hands will not touch each other if you try to hug the tree. Alright? Stem branches out in the upper part. That means if this is a tree, right? So branches will be here. Upper part. नीचे के हिस्से में branches नहीं होंगी. This is your trunk, the thick stem, right? Now live for hundreds of years. If you plant a tree, अगर उसे कोई कट नहीं कर रहा है, वो 100, 200, 300, 500 years तक भी आराम से survive करता है, and it provides a lot of shade, a lot of fruits, a lot of freshness to us. So never cut down trees. Always support afforestation, as EduCatUp always supports afforestation. Plant more and more trees, make yourself healthy and your environment healthy. Now let's move ahead. As examples you can see there are many: guava tree, neem tree, mango tree. So you have a lot of examples. Then climbers, important to understand, they cannot support themselves. That means the stem is so weak that it can't stand straight upright. They need another plant or another object to get upright. उन्हें straight रहने के लिए या ऊपर grow करने के लिए भी किसी दूसरे object का सहारा चाहिए. Otherwise वो नहीं grow कर पाएंगे. They attach themselves to whatever the neighboring object. उन्हें कोई plant हो, tree हो, this is not the condition. कोई भी non-living object होगा, एक rod होगा, staircase होगा, वो उसी की help से grow कर जाएंगे. But they need a support. They need something on which they can climb, and that is why they are climbers. Annuals or live longer, at least for 1 year या उससे भी ज़्यादा रहते हैं. One of the best examples like grapevine, that is your grapes thing, then your beanstalk and gourd. Gourd is lauki. जो आप vegetable खाते हैं lauki, that is one of the best examples of climbers. Now let's see ahead. The next kind of plant is creepers. Now as the name suggests, creepers means जो creep करता है, crawl करता है, right? So they cannot stand upright. Very weak stem again. Stems creep or spread on the ground. अपने आप वो फैलने लगते हैं. Same thing, annuals or live longer, at least for 1 year or even more than that, if the situation is favorable, conditions are favorable. One of the best examples is money plant. Money plant is something जो हम सब अपने घर में बहुत ज़्यादा लगाते हैं, उसको देखते भी हैं. If you will put money plant directly into your soil, I mean in your garden, directly into the soil, you can see the size of the leaves will be much bigger. It will grow very fast and it will spread like anything. Rather than putting money plant in a pot, try to put it in the soil directly and you can see the difference. Because it is a creeper. As it gets the space, it starts spreading. So that is one of the examples. Strawberry is also same kind, a creeper. So we have discussed the different kinds of plants, isn't it? We have started with herbs, shrubs, trees, climbers and creepers, the 5 types. Now let's see ahead. Now we are going to discuss the different parts of the plants, and the first is stem, which is the central axis part of the plant, the main body of the plant. Alright, leaves, flowers, birds, fruits, everything arises from the stem. If this is a plant, this is the stem, bud will be over here, leaves will come like this, isn't it? So everything happens through this main axis or body part. Fruits will hang like this. So everything is arising from your main stem, main axis or central part of your plant. In trees, it becomes very thick and it is known as trunk. We have discussed it already. It is brown in color. And in case of trees, this stem is covered with bark. हिंदी में आप जैसे क्या कहते हैं, छाल. Isn't it? If you touch the stem of a tree, it is not smooth or even, it is uneven. Rough होती है, कहीं से thick होगी, कहीं से thin होगी, कहीं पे हाथ में लग भी जाएगा, इतनी rough होगी. वो क्या होता है, उस पे छाल होती है, उस पे bark होता है. It is always covered with that. All right? All right. The next is leaf. Now, flattened and green colored structure, but extremely important. And why it is important? Because it is the site for photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is the process by which plants make their food. And if plants will not get the food, how we will get our food from plants? So it is a cycle. So leaves are that most important organ which provides the place for the plants to make their food. अगर leaves नहीं है तो फिर प्लांट का खाना भी नहीं बनेगा, फिर प्लांट को एनर्जी नहीं मिलेगी, तो प्लांट आपको कैसे खाना देगा और आपको कैसे एनर्जी मिलेगी. एंड देन हाउ यू विल बी इन दिस क्लास. सो अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रक्चर. देयर आर फ्यू पार्ट्स ऑफ द लीव्स विच वी आर गोइंग टू सी. ऑलराइट, over here in this diagram. The first is leaf apex, which is the tip of the leaf, from where the leaf is starting, the pointed thing. The second is lamina. Lamina is the body of the leaf, the complete leaf. This complete part is lamina, green one. Midrib. Now midrib is the central line which is passing through the leaf, like this. This central line. This is midrib, and it is a little thicker. From the back side, you can even touch it and feel it. Then you have vein, this crisscross pattern, either this ways or these ways. These are veins. These are also visible on almost all kinds of leaves except for few. ये crisscross pattern आपको अधिकतर leaves पे दिखाई देता है, and it is very important because whatever food is made, whatever water is supplied, it spreads it out. Then the next is petiole. Petiole is this part through which the leaf is attached to the stem. And then the last is leaf margin, which is the boundary of the leaf. It can be of different shapes. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like this. So it depends. All right. Okay, children. So now we are going to study the next topic, and that is leaf venation. The presence of veins on the leaves is known as venation, and I have told you that almost all the leaves have this pattern except for the few. Now this venation is of two types, reticulate and parallel. Now let's see. Reticulate venation is actually like this, and parallel venation is actually like either this or even like this. So in reticulate venation, what exactly you see that the veins are like this in V shape, and in parallel venation, as the name suggests, parallel, the lines are parallel either horizontally or vertically, but parallel. And parallel lines, you know the feature, you know the property as in mathematics. They are at same distance at every point, they do not intersect each other, and that is why they are parallel. Same thing happens in parallel venation, right? Now, the next thing is that how we will get to know that in which plant, which kind of venation leaves we will find. So it's a very simple and basic point you have to remember. If the plant has a tap root system, then it will be a reticulate venation, and if the plant has fibrous root system, it will be a parallel venation. Now, what is a tap root? What is a fibrous root? Our super science teacher, Ma'am Ambika, has not told us. So, that's what I'm telling you. See, tap root is something which is vertically straight like this and penetrating deep into the soil. Fibrous root is something which is spreaded more horizontally and not very deep rooted. So, this is the basic difference. Tap root is something which is very deep rooted and it is vertical and it anchors the plant strongly. Plant को एक बहुत ही strong base देती है. Parallel venation is something, your fibrous root is something which is more of horizontally spreaded होती है ऐसे, और वो बहुत ज़्यादा deep नहीं होती है soil में, और plant को बहुत ज़्यादा anchor या support नहीं मिलता है. All right, now let's move ahead. Now functions of leaf. Now what are the basic functions of leaf? One we have discussed, obviously photosynthesis, which cannot be denied, very important. But other than that, transpiration also. What is transpiration? Loss of water by plants. Excess water is lost by plants in the form of water vapor, which is called transpiration. Transpiration is just like evaporation, but over here it is happening in leaves or in plants. The site is leaves. Exchange of gases or respiration. That means oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged only through the leaves in plants. Moving ahead, roots. Now you know there are two types of roots, taproot and fibrous root. We have already discussed. You can have a look. See that this is the fibrous root behind me. You can see that it is more of a horizontal kind of a thing, more horizontally divided, more spreaded, right? And the taproot is more of a vertical thing, not very much spreaded. So this is a taproot and this is a fibrous root. All right, now let's move ahead. Now what are the functions of root? Why roots are very important? They absorb water, minerals and other nutrients from the soil and supply it to the plants. And that is why when you sow a seed, roots are the first organ which develops in the soil. सीड में से सबसे पहले रूट्स ही बाहर निकलती हैं बिकॉज दे आर द वंस विच एब्जॉर्ब्स वाटर मिनरल्स एंड अदर न्यूट्रिएंट्स लाइक नाइट्रोजन फॉस्फोरस फ्रॉम द सॉइल एंड प्रोवाइड इट टू द प्लांट. देन दे एंकर द प्लांट टू द सॉइल. एंकर मीन्स दे फिक्स द प्लांट. रूट्स फैल जाती हैं तो प्लांट फिक्स हो जाता है, दैट थिंग. एंड दे प्रिवेंट सॉइल इरोजन ऑल्सो बिकॉज दे होल्ड द सॉइल. You know what is soil erosion? The movement of the soil from one place to another because of wind, water, other reasons. So that soil erosion is prevented by roots. Next is, flower. Now a flower has 4 basic parts. This is very important, children. Pay attention and be very attentive. Sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. A flower is divided into 4 parts. Now sepals are the small green leaves which are present at the base of a flower. Petals are the colorful part of the flower. The colorful पंखुड़ी जो आपको दिखाई देती हैं किसी भी फ्लावर में, वो petals होती हैं. Then you have stamen. Stamen is the male reproductive part. And pistil is the female reproductive part. So this you can see. Sepals are the small green leaves which are present at the base. Petals are the colorful part. Stamen is the male reproductive organ and pistil is the female reproductive organ. Now let's see ahead. Now stamen is divided into 3 parts, that is anther, filament and pollen grains. Alright, its structure is almost like this. This complete is stamen. This is anther. This is filament. And inside this anther, small pollen grains are present. This is the male reproductive part of the plant. All right, let's move ahead. Okay, now let's see what next. Pistil. Now pistil is the female reproductive part of the plant. It is divided into 3 parts and one part has the subpart again. Style, stigma and ovary. Ovary has ovules as well. Its structure is somewhat like this. So this is how the structure of pistil is. This is your stigma. This is your style. This is your ovary. And these are your ovules inside the ovary. So this is how the complete pistil is Let's move ahead. So we are going to discuss now the parts of a flower to understand them in detail. The first we have to discuss is sepal, because we have seen sepals first. So this is sepal. Alright, so these small green leaves which are present at the base of a flower from where you flower hold. So these are sepals. This actually protects the petals. जो पंखुड़ी होती हैं उनको collectively रखने के लिए, बचा के रखने के लिए, these sepals are there. Now the next we have talked about petals. Obviously this, the colored part. These are your petals. The most attractive part of a flower, the most beautiful part of a flower. Whatever one looks at a flower is the petals. In fact, we are also attracted towards the color, towards the beauty of a flower, right? So these are the petals. Then you have the fourth one, which is the stamen, which is the male reproductive part. It has three parts. One is this. This is the complete stamen. This. These all are stamen. All right. This upper part is anther. This stick is filament, and inside this anther you have pollen grains. Then you have the female reproductive part, which is pistil. Now pistil has stigma, style, pollen tube, this one, ovary and ovules. So basically the female reproductive part is also known as carpel, alright, and the male reproductive part is stamen that we have discussed. Other than that, receptacle is this thick part where we hold the flower from. It is this thick part which helps to hold the flower, and it actually is the generation of flower organs. That means all the flower organs, all the parts of the flower generate from this part, and then the stem of the plant. So this is the structure of your flower. You have to remember a flower has four important parts: sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. Sepals are the small green leaves which are present at the base of the flower. Petals is the colorful part. Stamen is the male reproductive organ divided into three parts, that is anther, then your filament and pollen grains. Then your fourth part is pistil, which is the female reproductive part. It is divided again into three parts, that is stigma, style, ovary, and inside ovary the ovules, which are the female reproductive cells. So that is how your complete flower structure is there. Let's move ahead. Now, what are these? Actually, these are the functions of flower. Reproductive organ of a plant. Whenever it is asked that in plants, the asexual reproduction or the sexual reproduction takes place where? Especially the sexual. The answer is flower. The sexual reproduction in a plant takes place in a flower. Flower is the reproductive organ of the plant. It is used to make perfumes and medicines. It is also used for decoration, for making things look beautiful on festivals, in functions. Yeah, so flowers are very lively and important. So with this, my children, we have come to the end of this super amazing session, and I hope that you all have liked and subscribed to the EduCatUp YouTube channel. If you haven't done so, guys, it's the time to do it, because the subscription button and the like button both are given below. For me, that is your super science teacher, it's time to sign out, and till the time we meet again, be happy, be safe, and keep updating yourself with EduCatUp. Bye-bye, guys.